you will be healed. You will be set free. You will walk in your kingdom authority, and you will get activated in your kingdom assignment as a kingdom citizen and an ambassador. Because why I can boldly say that? Because you're watching me. You would be here watching this right now if it was not for you to be activated in your kingdom assignment for such a time as this, just like Esther. It's time. Hello, 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 everybody, and my Diamond Strong family. Good morning, good evening, no matter what time it is your time. I'm just so happy and thrilled that you decided to spend some of that time with me. This is Kingdom Queen Talk, and I am Lady Tay, the Vision Queen. Y'all, if you never read the book of Esther, you need to read the book of Esther. I'm telling you, Esther is a prime example of someone that had to go through the preparation process to become a beauty with her crown, okay? Yes, Esther, she was a orphan. She lost her parents, and her cousin Mordecai. Yes, Mordecai. He adopted her at a young age, so she was an orphan, and she was always fair, so she was always beautiful, okay? But because she was an orphan, she wasn't looked at much, you know. I'm sure, can you imagine the mindset of an orphan? Okay, she didn't have her parents, she didn't have her mom to nurture her, she didn't have her father. And you know, God is, He always uses people. If you think your situation is bad, okay, she lost her parents. God always uses people like that. He always uses the meek. He always uses the quiet ones, the ones that are underestimated. I'm sure she had to go through the fact that she had friends that had both her parents and she looked at them. Can you imagine growing up that young without your parents and you're seeing other kids around with their parents? I'm sure she felt some kind of way. I mean, how would you feel being an orphan and not having your parents, okay? So I'm sure she felt some kind of way like why me, you know, feeling sorry for herself. Just imagine the mindset of that young orphan, you know? Just imagine that. But see, God had plans for this young orphan all along. So when she became an adult and the king needed a new queen because the queen that he had was full of pride, and I guess she thought she was all that in a bag of chips. What he asked for, no pun intended, you know, bag of chips. But he asked for her Queen Vashti to come in the royal ball so he could show her off to his friends and stuff. And so she thought she was too good to go down there when the king asked her to come. So when she did that, because of the mindset the community, the whole village would have had if they got around that she said no to the king and she got away with it, he couldn't have that happen. So he had to find a new queen. See, in that time, that was a no-no. You didn't do that. You didn't turn down the king, okay? So because God knew this was gonna happen, okay? So he looked for a new queen. So Mordecai, as wise as he was, he knew that Esther was beautiful and she would be a prime candidate. So he put her up to be one of the virgins to be put up to be put in front of the king. But see, there's a long process that happened between that. So she had to be prepared. All the virgins had to be prepared. They went through a period of time, I think 6 months and then a year. Yeah, 6 months of, etiquette, getting their mind right. Because, they were she had to have her mind changed. She went through the etiquette. Anybody that goes through being royal, even the Prince Charles and all of them, they go through a change. They have tutors, they have people that train them up to walk a certain way, to talk a certain way, to become a certain way. They go through a mindset change. So all the virgins went through that. So they went through a preparation period, preparing for your crown. They went through a preparation period for 6 months, and then they were adorned for 6 more months with, perfumes and getting beautified, having what they call beauty treatment, and so they went through all the training that they had to do to be presented. See, they could just be presented to the king like that. They had to go through a process to be presented to the king. So Esther went through that. And Esther won the favor of all the people in the court to get to the next level, to be presented before the king. And the king had so much favor on Esther that he immediately, and I'm sure all those women are beautiful, but he immediately took the crown and put it on her head. Okay? She impressed the king. And it was because of God. God gave her the favor to impress the king, okay? Because God had a plan for her. So when she was in the palace, there was a guy that did not like the Jews, because Mordecai, the cousin of Esther, he was not going to bow down to Haman, which was the guy that hated the Jews, because the custom of the Jews knew that they could not bow down to anybody but the one true God. And Mordecai was like, I'm not bowing down to Haman. So he didn't. And because of the pride of Haman, he didn't like that. So he wanted to kill off the Jews. So he had the king, because he had so much favor with the king, somehow his little sneaky self went and manipulated the king to say, hey king, we need to get rid of these Jews because they don't bow down to you, or whatever little sneaky thing he said to get the king to make a decree. But the king did it. So the word got back to Mordecai that the Jews were going to be killed on the 13th day, and that made Mordecai go into sackcloth and ashes and was mourning. And that the word got back to Esther, and Esther wanted to know what was wrong with him. So the word got to Esther what was going on, and Esther got scared, was like, well, there's nothing that I can do about it. If I go to the king, I could be killed, because that was a law that if the king did not ask for you, and you go before the king, and if he don't have favor and point his scepter to you, you could die. And Mordecai said to her, or sent the message saying to her, that God will find a way for us to be delivered. But don't think you're going to be exempt from this. Because if he find another way, and you don't do this, then, you won't be exempt. You could be killed too, because you're a Jew as well. What if you're in there for such a time as this? That's probably the reason why you're in there, for such a time as this. So, as scared as young Esther was, she had to woman up. Like you say, man up, she had to woman up. So she said, you know what? I'm going to do a 3-day fast. Me and my ladies tell everybody all the Jews to do a fast as well. Fast and pray with me. And I'm going to go to the king, even though he did not ask for me. And if I perish, I perish. So she had to get brave. And she had to stand up. And she had to go before the king. And the rest of the story, I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but she did go before the king, and he did rule in her favor to save her people. And I tell you this story because such a time as this is your turn to prepare yourself for your crown, your kingdom mindset, because for such a time as this, the Lord is ready to use you in your kingdom assignment so that you can help your people and the people that you are assigned to help. For such a time as this, it's time for you to get your kingdom mindset, just like Queen Esther, and get prepared, because you have work to do as well in this kingdom. And it's my job as your destiny helper to help you along the way. But what I'm telling you, you have to prepare your crown by getting the kingdom mindset. So, just like Esther, it's time for you to prepare your crown for your assignment. And I'm speaking this over here, over you, okay? I speak these things that are not as though they were over you. You will be healed. You will be set free. You will walk in your kingdom authority, and you will get activated in your kingdom assignment as a kingdom citizen and an ambassador. Because why I can boldly say that? Because you're watching me. You would be here watching this right now if it was not for you to be activated in your kingdom assignment for such a time as this, just like Esther. It's time for you to get rid of those ashes, that worldly patterns, and that ashy thinking and unforgiveness, and get over those people and the hurt and pain that they did to you, because maybe that hurt and pain that they did to you was to help you get a lesson learned so that you can be strong in your kingdom assignment. Hey, what they meant for bad, God gonna use that for good, baby. I'm telling you, it's gonna be used for good. All right? But you have to trust in the Lord. Trust in the Lord. Okay? And it's time for you to get in your kingdom assignment. Just like Esther. You being used just like Esther. I'm being used just like Esther. Okay? It's time, baby. It's time. You are God's beloved, baby. You are God's beloved, and don't you ever forget that. I am an overcomer. You are an overcomer. Esther was an overcomer. I'm sure after she became a queen and she got in her assignment, do you think she had that mindset of an orphan anymore? I don't think so. I don't think so. And neither will you. See, God is the father of the fatherless. You think you had it bad because you didn't have a mother or a father, or the one that you had wasn't that good, but guess what? God is your father. And he's the king of all kings. You are royalty, baby. All right? Forget that. That's over with. I am an overcomer. I overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of my testimony, baby. The word of my testimony. And I'm telling you, once you get that kingdom assignment, you have that crown of beauty and no more ashes, they ain't gonna even know who you are. You ain't gonna even know who you are. You gonna be like, who is that? When you finally look in the mirror again, after you done went through all that, you're gonna be like, I don't even recognize myself. All right? But it's time to face the mirror right now, because it's time for you to get over those things. That's the past. God is not the God of the past. God has a vision. He always had a vision in you from the beginning of the world. He knew you, and he knew what you would become. And you ain't seen nothing yet, baby. I don't care if you're doing good right now. You ain't seen the potential that our Father have for you, because he's the God of potential. Infinite potential. If you're doing good, you could be doing better. Don't get caught up in your current success. You got more success to do. You don't wrote 10 books. You need to write 20 more or 30 more. Don't stop where you at. Don't stop where you at. Our God is a God of infinite potential. Wrap this up. I love you guys so much. I love you guys more than you know. That's why I keep serving. That's why I said yes to be a minister of God, to serve his people. That's why I'm here. I turned down a life because this is the better life. And you gotta see, I turned down everything for the kingdom, because this is the better life. And I love you guys so much. And I want you to remember, if you can think it, you can see it. And if you can see it, you can be it. Become everything that Christ have died for you to become. Become. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much. And you reach out to me on Kingdom Queen Talk on Instagram. Message me if you have any questions, if you need any prayers or anything like that. I'm in service for you. Thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. And if you want to support the ministry, reach out to me that way too. All right? Have a good day.